If there's one thing we've learned from Doctor Who,
it's that education matters.
Access to a quality education
makes a difference in every aspect of someone's life.
It can be the determining factor between despair and hope,
poverty and stability,
even death and life.
Doctor Who fans can help change this.
This October,
representatives from your favorite Doctor Who podcasts
and some very special guests
are coming together to record podcast commentaries for the stories of
season 26,
the final season of the classic series of Doctor Who.
That's 14 episodes of Classic Who,
with more than 50 podcasters,
authors,
and fans participating.
These special podcast commentaries
won't be available on any one show's feed.
We're offering them exclusively to listeners who provide a donation
to an organization working to improve access to education.
Here's what you have to do.
Make a donation of $10 or more
to the Malala Fund
or another of our suggested organizations.
Then, send a copy of your receipt
to Gallifrey Stands
at realitybombpodcast.com.
And you'll get information on where to download
your special commentary podcast
later this month.
You can find more information and details
about the various organizations we're supporting
at realitybombpodcast.com/Who4Schools.
Last year, in the Doctor Who episode Rosa,
we were reminded that
an education makes you unstoppable.
Let's help more people to be unstoppable.
And just like the Doctor,
let's continue to be kind.
To be kind.
To be kind.
Radio for Skaro.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 710. I'm Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Vancouver.
Whoa.
One room down, in fact.
Warren.
One room down from Warren.
I was going to warn you, actually, Warren, that I think Chris might actually be in your home. And
inside the house.
Inside the house right now. Yeah.
Yep.
Chris is visiting Vancouver. I'm going to be visiting Vancouver in a month as well. Thanks to Warren's generosity, as everyone does
taking
the world
me to
tour.
A hockey game.
Yeah, we're going to.
Which is that a reward or not? I'm not sure.
I can't tell. I know that is kind of like we're paying for your ticket, but you do have to come to a hockey game. So
and wear a Canucks
it's a bit of a draw.
I'm told.
Yeah, which I'm not thrilled.
You're not.
With.
Oh, but it's for those that don't know, I have an extensive hockey jersey collection. I used to collect them a lot more back in the day. I sort of have added on to them here and there since, but I have many retro jerseys to wear, and I am undecided as to what I want to wear because there's for those that don't know, the Vancouver Canucks wore a some might call hideous and has often topped the list of the worst sports uniforms ever made. But to me, it's the most gorgeous thing ever made, and I have one.
You're talking the yellow and black.
I'm taking the yellow black, the flying V.
It's ugly,
but
that's probably gonna be the one I'm wearing.
Yeah, and yet gorgeous at the same time. You know what I mean? It's kind of like basically bad special effects in the form of a hockey jersey, and
it is the Shiraz Jack of hockey jerseys. Ty was once considered probably.
There was a Canucks game last night.
It was.
And I'm staying not terribly far from where the arena is, so I saw people walking away from it, and there were some in the ugly Canucks jerseys.
Yeah, see that this is my dilemma because I love that jersey. It's one of my favorite jerseys ever because I saw it on a hockey card when I was a kid. Richard Brodeur was wearing it. So I was, oh my God, what is this jersey? It's amazing. I want one. And I finally got one like 30 years later. But I already know that Canucks fans are going to be wearing one of those anyway. So I thought, well, wait a minute. The New Jersey Devils are in town. And they used to be the Colorado Rockies, who used to be the Kansas City Scouts. And I have a Kansas City Scouts jersey, which is like 2 steps removed from what the New Jersey Devils are. And so I thought maybe I'll wear that. And then my suspicions were confirmed when I saw the goalie for the Devils do a post-game interview. He was wearing a Kansas City Scouts hat. He knows exactly what it is. So I might be wearing the Scouts jersey and seeing if anybody.
What's
knows.
the Doctor Who equivalent of deep cut?
That is a deep. What is that? What would that be like? It's like that's like. Gosh, what would that be? I remember there was
It'd be wearing a T-shirt of David Banks in the Seven Keys of Death. Or whatever
David Banks,
Doomsday,
cosplaying as David Banks' Doctor from Doctor Who: The Ultimate Adventure is what he was.
Actually,
saying.
no, it would be David Marshall's Triumph, where he cosplayed as Lenny Henry playing the Doctor.
Yeah, that
one of the greatest cosplay triumphs.
That would be
of all
the one,
time,
wouldn't it? Yeah, you don't recognize this? This is like Pathfinders in Space. It's the 1960 BBC serial that led to Doctor Who in some ways. Don't you know this? That'd be the kind of thing that would be.
Warren last night or yesterday was telling a story of wearing his Action by Havoc shirt and having what did you say,
a coffee shop here,
25-year-old guy.
Yeah, somebody who had no business knowing what Action by Havoc. He was like, "That shirt's awesome, man." I'm like,
did he know what Action by Havoc was?
Oh, of course he did. Yes,
good,
he did
right.
indeed know what Action by Havoc was.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So there's your deep cut equivalent.
That's what's so. So that's what I might do when we go to Vancouver. I'm purely going there to tour Doctor Who TV movie filming locations, obviously.
That's exactly what you're doing. They're all like one place, and it's a pretty crap part of town. But okay.
Do you have Yigiso on speed dial?
No, I got his book.
Because
I talked to him a few years ago when his book came out. Yes. His location guide book. He's on Apple Music now too, by the way. I haven't listened to it, but I noticed he tweeted out last night that he's on Apple Music and he's got some tunes out there. So search out Yigiso on Apple Music, everyone. I know he brought his guitar and stuff to Long Island 2 back in the day, and I didn't know how serious his music career was, but there he is, Apple Music artist. Hell of a career, that Yigiso. It's fun, I think he sort of like took a step back from acting, but then like because everything, as you know, Warren, everything gets shot in Vancouver. Like he has this career as like in computers and stuff, but then he also does like guest spots on so many TV shows that are shot in Vancouver that you look at his IMDb page and it's like, what a career! Like, I'll just do this. Oh, you want somebody to act for a day? Sure, I'll go in, do it, get a paycheck.
Yeah, it's the Vancouver life. Yeah. I have yet to act in anything for very good reason. I wouldn't be very good at it.
So. Well, there you go. Yigiso, everybody.
Batwoman is still recording, so you might want to find that set, Warren.
Oh.
Maybe you can get a walk on.
Care. I couldn't tell you how little I care about the CW.
Is it CW?
It is nothing but a traffic stop to me.
It's on Showcase here in Canada. I don't know where. Is it a CW show in the States or?
I don't know. These things just shoot here and I walk around. And that's the.
Well, I tell you what. Speaking of stuff airing on other networks that we don't know about and stuff. So in our friend of the show, a Doctor Who writer, Peter Harness, has written a 3-part adaptation of The War of the Worlds. I think they shot it like a year ago, and it's finally coming to the BBC in November. No date has been announced. The trailer came out like last month. Anyway, I was looking around, hey, when is this thing airing in Canada? And if it's airing at all. And the T&E, which is like short for Travel and Escape, it's one of those weird cable channels that just sort of like it starts out as like one very focused thing and then like shows movies and like wrestling or something like that.
And mostly reality TV.
Well, anyway, they've been showing it since like last Sunday. The War of the Worlds.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
So I added it. I added the channel for like a month, and I'll get the 3 episodes in one. So like world premiere of the War of the Worlds, it was in Canada and like to next to no fanfare. So.
Well, it's following the TV movies example.
Exactly. Yeah. Here, because in Edmonton we had it 2 days before anyone else. And if anyone owned like a satellite dish, a big giant satellite dish in their backyard or something, you probably could have pulled it down off of the Anik E2 satellite the weekend before when they beamed it to all the various TV stations.
I'm giving you sweet points for name checking Anik E2.
Thank you very much.
Back
only appreciated by other Canadian broadcast nerds.
Yeah,
I know. Back in the day, going to a premiere party for Deep Space Nine. It was put on by the local Doctor Who club, and I know somebody there had access to an Anik E2 satellite because they had a feed from the satellite.
But by the way, just for the other the other broadcast nerds, would basically me and Steven and maybe one other person out there somewhere, I saw the Joker film. I will say nothing about the Joker film except to say it's set in 1980, so there is a lot of vintage TV equipment in this that is just... There's a switcher scene. I was like, oh, look at that beauty. Just look at it.
Wow, switchers. I would see that's probably the only reason I would go see such film.
Yeah, you should just go get the supercut of... Actually, that makes me... I'll never do this, but doing a supercut of vintage TV technology in movies.
That would be cool.
For weirdos like me who get off on that kind of thing.
Well, you'd have to start with, of course, the Grass Valley switcher that blew up Alderaan, for instance.
Indeed, I would. You
have to do that. Speaking of blowing up planets, I have no idea. No segue. None at all. Kerblam. Kerblam is the Series 11 commentary that we have today with Beth and Kezia from the Time Ladies. A lot of fun. By the way, I hope you're enjoying the commentaries. We've been noticing an uptick in the downloads, as often happens with the commentaries. I'm glad you like them. And for those that go, well, hey, I don't have time to watch this thing. Listen, we've said this before in the show. It's not like we're commenting on every little thing that's coming on screen. It's more like a springboard for conversations about the show and the episode in general. So my Erica has been listening to them, and she resolutely would not she would pause a previous episode with the commentary on it until she could watch it with it, but never had the time to watch. So there's so many unlistened commentaries. She's been listening to them, just listening to them as podcast things. So it's fine. So watch along with us, listen along with us. It's a lot of fun. Series 11 commentaries, which we're like over halfway done now. So how about that? Anyway, hey, let's you heard it off the top. Who for Schools is part 2 of the Who initiative, I guess. It was the Who Against Guns, a couple years ago now that we did. We were part of with a whole bunch of people.
Last year, I think.
Put on
last year.
Is it just last year? I thought it was 2 years ago now.
Pretty sure
time,
but my memory is terrible, so don't.
Anyway, we were part of it. Graeme, Burk, Reality Bomb, and Joy Piedmont, and Rachel Donner were all part of it with, donate money to help things and stop stuff. And it was an enormous success. We were part of the 10 episode commentary for the War Games with a whole host of people. Well, it's back. It's back. This time it's 4 schools. Who for Schools, 14 episodes, all of season 26. Warren, even you participated.
Yes, even I.
In this.
And I wasn't nasty about Sylvester McCoy. For once.
Well, you only had to do one episode, so you could
exactly,
containing your.
I mean, that's pushing it to the line.
That's true. Really. I was just going to say, containing your hatred for 25 minutes is easier than
not McCoy. Just the
I know. No, actually, McCoy too. Warren, let's face it.
Yeah. I gotta go.
Yeah. Links in the show notes. So realitybombpodcast.com/Who for Schools. Basically, you find a charity. There's a list of good charities in the U.S., Canada, and the U.K. At the link there. Submit your receipt to gallifreystands@realitybombpodcast.com, and you'll get information on how to download the special commentaries. I don't think we're allowed to say which episodes we did, but yes, they are season 26 episodes. But they're all recorded. They're in the can. I recorded mine last weekend, I think it was, and I think we're all on different stories. I think we can say that much. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on
a different story. Don't say.
Yes, I am a different story.
Secret. 100% secret.
I'm on the same story as Kat, but I can't remember which ones you guys did.
I don't remember.
I know one of you did.
Don't say it. You can't say it. There's only 4. They're going to guess.
Now season 26 commentary nologists are going to be piecing it all together. Just the picture of the guy with the strings and going, it's a conspiracy.
It's like a set recording. Oh, I saw this person was online at this part. Oh, I bet you they're watching a thing for a thing. So I don't even know who's on all of them. I have no idea. So
lots and lots of people.
Are we allowed to talk about who we did our commentaries with?
Absolutely not.
Let's just
absolutely not. No.
Let's just
No, not allowed to. It's part of it. It's all.
That's a set report, technically.
It is kind of a set report. Anyway, it's for a good cause.
Anyway, yes, they're done. I did mine last weekend as well.
Yeah, it's for a good cause. So check it out, realitybombpodcast.com/Who for School. Reality Bomb, they did a live show in New York City on
Yes,
Saturday.
They did. I was experiencing much FOMO at seeing all my friends.
Oh, well, they're all going to be at Gallifrey 1 for the most part. So,
that's
true. It's New York, too, Warren. You don't want to go there. God.
Well, I'm going there next month, so
why would you do that? There's like rats there.
Because it's the greatest city on earth.
London. London is the greatest city on earth.
No, New York. New York has the unfortunate temerity to be positioned within the United States that are run by a tyrant. But other than that, it's great.
Sure. Well, hey, we won't get into it. London. Speaking of London Comic-Con is coming up at the end of this calendar month of October 2019 for those of you listening way in the future. And Doctor Who will have a presence there. Yes.
I've forgotten what that is like.
Well, I won't have a Series 12 presence there, but there'll be a stand. They'll have like various things. They'll have like the Revelation of the Daleks book that's coming out. The exclusive sample of the Maze of Doom sequel to the Secret in Vault 13. Other things like Titan T-shirts with 3D T-shirts with 3D glasses. A glow-in-the-dark T-shirt. Oh my God! There's a virtual reality section with exclusive demos of The Edge of Time, which is coming out sometime. I keep seeing trailers and demos and everything, but it's never actually coming out. I remember saying that I was going to like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get a VR headset and do that, but I need just a VR headset. I need a VR gaming headset. And that's like $600, and I don't think I can justify paying $600 just to play one game. So
that's where your commitment to Doctor Who ends, is it?
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, it's kind of expensive.
Yeah, I question your commitment to Sparkle Motion.
As do I. Your Sparkle Motion commitment is lacking,
I guess
sir.
so. There's a display stand showcasing the costumes from Series 11, which is almost acknowledging the existence of Series 12, so that's pretty close.
Wow, that is reaching.
The real, the things that excite us here at this podcast is the Doctor Who, the collection. They're talking to the Blu-ray team behind the Blu-ray box sets, including some never before seen content from the upcoming season 26 box set, which is pretty cool.
Season 26, which we still cannot pre-order.
No, correct? Still not on pre-order. Listen, I'm still waiting. It should happen sometime today as we record this or tomorrow. I'm still waiting for my season 10 box set to ship.
Yes.
Season 10. All right? Ridiculous. Toby Haydock's all. I'm really glad to see Toby Haydock back on these things. He's sort of like kind of taken a bit of a step back from Doctor Who stuff to focus on his career, which is going very well, by the way. But he's talking. There's one about the animations where they'll be talking to the people behind the upcoming Faceless Ones animation, which is coming out in 2020. A world first look at an exclusive clip from the Faceless Ones, and a world first. I've never heard that term before, world first announcement of a new animation with a clip.
What will it be?
I am going to guess Evil of the Daleks.
That wouldn't
just
surprise
because
me.
They seem to be going through season 4, and
that's the other one everybody's pining for.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, Evil makes a lot of sense. My guess was going to be the Highlanders.
I don't know if Highlanders is good and all, but I know that it does now.
It doesn't have the pizzazz of Evil.
Exactly.
I know,
but it lacks the oomph.
Yeah,
but it's still something they could do a lot of like Fraser Hines based content with.
And the world is clamoring for Fraser Hines based content,
and Annika Wills as well, I guess too. So
Fraser Hines isn't in that episode as much as other ones, of course, but. Anyway, that's my guess. Evil of the Daleks. We'll find out in 2 weeks' time.
I hope you're right. I would very much like to see that.
Whole host, including a tribute to Terrence Dicks at the center stage, too, which is pretty awesome. So, yeah, if you're going to London Film Con, Friday the 25th to the 27th of October, you have some Doctor Who stuff to look forward to. We don't. We don't have that. We're still 3 Blu-ray box sets behind. So, enjoy your stuff there, England. Creator of Doctor Who.
Meanwhile, English listeners are going, yes, we shall. And they'll tut-tut at us.
Thank you very much.
Upstart colonials for our impertinence.
This was a cool thing. We talked about this because they just announced it last week and it happened. Mission to the Unknown, the recreation put on by the University of Lancashire. Central Lancashire? Central Lancashire.
Central Lancashire,
UCL.
Yeah. They did, of course, last year they did a recreation of Mission to the Unknown, the single one-off Doctor Who episode from 1965. And they put it out on the BBC YouTube channel at the exact time of the 54th anniversary of its original airing, October 9th, 1965, with an introduction from Edward D'Souza, who played Mark Corey in the original version. And boy, oh boy, that was a delight. Did you two, Warren, you have watched some of it. Chris, did you watch?
Some of it. I get a chance to watch all of it.
Yeah.
But you kind of forget after 5 minutes it isn't the original. They did a really good job of mimicking old school Who, and just presumably old school TV generally at the time.
Yeah, I've watched the first 4 or 5 minutes, but the look of it feels authentic.
Yes, it feels right on the money.
Yeah, like the shot on video and the black and white and all that kind of stuff. It looks
it
like
even looks lower resolution, like they maybe dinged a few lines off this thing.
It looks like vid-fired black and white, like actual legit black and white Doctor Who.
Totally.
Yeah. That would have been hilarious if.
And as well,
go on, Warren. Go on.
Well, I don't know what the name of the council of aliens they have at the end who are talking to the Daleks, but I've seen Andrew Mark Thompson, who we'll mention later, that's a running gag in all his Photoshop shenanigans. And so when I saw them for real, I was like, oh my God, these guys.
That it was. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually shot it on like videotape, transferred it to 16mm film, then vid-fired it just for that pure...
that costs a lot of money. There's no way they did that.
It's fascinating though. They didn't shoot it in big giant tube cameras, I don't think, but they did shoot it on like video.
Listen, let me break through this for you. I have something called Red Giant, which is a series of filters. One of them is VHS. It has many settings you can go to automatically, like 3/4 inch, U-matic, all these other stuff, and then you can go in and tweak it. So they probably just have something like that. They tweak the living hell out of it to look right.
They could have done.
That doesn't cost you anything.
I will admit, I didn't watch the making of yet. It's about 9.5 minutes.
There's a making of? I didn't know that.
There's a making of done by Josh Nares from the YouTube channel. It's fascinating though. I mean, it's easy, I suppose, in relative terms, to like make something contemporary with contemporary equipment.
Nothing's like this is ever easy.
No, I'm just saying, Warren, let me finish, please. It's easy to sort of make something like, okay, we'll just shoot something today. This is what you do. But to like shoot something and like make it look like, here's what we had in 1965 and this is how we have to do this. Like without the benefit of modern technology, so to speak, it's like, that's a game show. You could almost make this a reality show. Get some students together. Here, you have to make something that aired in 1965 using only 1965 stuff. You have to wrap your head around, okay, how do we do this without benefiting from, like swing cams or HD cam or green screen or anything like this? Like everything you see on screen is built in. Like there's a shot of Garvey where he sort of like becomes the Varga plant. And they're sort of like superimposed on top and think, oh, that's kind of easy. But how do they do that? Maybe because they don't have like all this modern technology that they're allowed to use.
That has its own set of challenges too, because if they're doing editing on the computer, which almost certainly are, to get so I did a Dalek Blast once in a fan film of mine, and to get it to look analog, you have to really screw around with the settings to make it analog. Yeah. And you have to think backwards to go, okay, what would I have available if I was a Vision Mixer in 70 something, and you only use those parameters, and then it starts to work, and you're like, oh, okay, now I know how to do this because I'm basically just limiting myself to whatever they had, and that's probably what they're doing, even in the computer stage.
It's cool. It was cool. It was really well done. It was such a loving homage to like classic Doctor Who and classic television in general. The performances are great. Nick Briggs is so good at mimicking like past Dalek voice operators, like Peter Hawkins and
totally
other people. So he was really great in it too. Yeah, check it out if you haven't yet. It's really good.
Although that's the one thing that kind of took me out a little bit because I know it's Nick Briggs, so I'm like, oh, okay, that's a present day Dalek voice. You get that in Power of the Daleks too.
But he's such a good mimic that he just does it so well.
Yeah. Oh, he does a great job. Don't get me wrong.
And he's often said that he sort of bases his own performance off of Peter Hawkins anyway, who was the Dalek voice in this too. So it wasn't like that much of a stretch. I'd still love to hear Nick Briggs do his best Peter Messeline from Day of the Daleks, the one-off.
Okay.
The
highly lit, the one that sounds like he's doing opera.
Exactly. I want that. I want that, Nick Briggs. But anyway, links to the show notes, radiofreescaro.com, or in your listening device to the YouTube broadcast of that. So cool. And I watched it live. Live per se, as it went on YouTube. Pretty cool stuff. Well done, BBC, for doing that. Hey, hats off to Doctor Who magazine. 40 years of publications for Doctor Who magazine.
I was trying to figure out the first one I ever read, because people were doing that online. And I think my dad and I went to Washington, D.C. when I was 14 years old, and I think I bought it at the airport, of all places. And it had a whole thing about Trial of the Time Lord, and about the giant set and how the spaceship set, the trial space station. And that was where my love of the space station began, is through that article, which I think I probably read 4 or 5 times over.
Wow. I don't, my first one, I think it was like in the 150s, I think it was. I could tell. It was McCoy and Aldred and Nicholas Parsons on the cover from Curse of Fenric. And now I can't remember if it was just post-recording, like post-broadcast, or in the lead-up to, but it's kind of why I hold season 26 special a little bit, because it's to me the only season of classic Doctor Who that was quote unquote contemporary to where I was in my Doctor Who fandom at the time. Like I just sort of like come along, oh, this is the new Doctor Who, and hey, cool, we're watching new Doctor Who. I get to watch it into they're going to cancel it now. So well, I guess I enjoy it.
So I have another story that Chris will be able to relate to, probably because he went to the same high school I did. Do you remember old Skona Billiards, Chris? The old arcade. Yeah, so I was in there with a copy of DWM because I bought it at Warp 1 Comics. This is diving real back. And I read in it that Colin Baker had been fired. And this is probably a year after Colin Baker had been fired, but we didn't have the internet back then. So I'm like, what just happened? What? I was like utterly traumatized in front of a Ghosts and Goblins machine.
You had the Raven deliver you the message from the previous winter.
I did.
Homing pigeons. Anyway, they had a big party at... I'm sorry, Chris, we're talking about first issues. Do you remember your first issue, Chris, at all?
Not distinctly. Would have been 80, an issue from 84 or 85 that I probably would have gotten in 85 or 86. Maybe.
Yeah, there was like a year delay for these things, and we got them anyway.
Yeah. Still is, actually. You go into a bookstore now and think, oh, wow, hey, this is the one.
No, you can find them at some comic
Well, I know
store.
you can find them, but it's still like 2 months ago. You know, it's.
Yeah, you're probably
right. Like Warren, it definitely would have been Colin Baker era content.
Sea Bakes. I'm a subscriber now, thanks to it being digital and stuff. And of course, we were in the magazine in a special in 2017.
That's true.
2017 yearbook. So
bucket list for sure.
They had.
Oh yeah.
I also remember one more headline where they showed the Sea Devil and said, "Be a devil, look in on Longleat," and I'm like, "The hell is a Longleat?" I have no idea what that meant.
What is this place? They had a big party on Thursday night. I think the official 40th anniversary, October 11th. Maybe it was Friday. I can't remember what it was, but all the surviving editors and a whole host of people. There's some photos floating around of all the people who were at this party. Had a big cake with all the different Doctor Who magazine logos on it. So, pip to Doctor Who magazine, who has been a source of my fandom, certainly. It was probably the source, let's face it. Talking about first issues, I would take buses up to Edmonton to go to Warp 1 and just buy basically every single Doctor Who magazine they had. I don't care what year it was from, back issue, current one, whatever, give me. And I still have them. I still have those ones, so it's pretty cool. Also pretty cool. I think we talked about this when they were sort of like announcing it, and now it's coming out next month. The unofficial Doctor Who Annual 1987, brought to you by the team that brought you the unofficial Doctor Who Annual 1972, because there was no 1972 annual and there was no 1987 annual. And so they've made new annuals to appear as if they were going to be in 1987, with your typical stories and comic books and stuff.
We haven't talked about this one. We talked about this 1972 one.
I thought we did talk about the 1987 one back.
I don't remember talking about it.
I don't remember anything earlier in this episode, Chris.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I know exactly. we talked about the 1972 one when it came out.
I feel like we did talk about this being a thing because it took a while.
What it was, I think,
here it comes,
was when the 1972 one came out. There was probably a mention that, hey, there's also none for 1987. If you if you buy the 1972, maybe they'll make the 1987.
That could have been it. Anyway,
that could be it.
It's a while ago. Anyway, people like Fraser Hines, Alistair Pearson, who did a lot of the Target novelizations for the late 80s ones, and David J. Howe have all contributed to the publication. So, basically people who would have contributed back in 1987 are contributing here. So it's coming out in November from Terraqueous Distributors.
Terraqueous?
I think I pronounced that right. Terraqueous.
I hope you did.
I know.
Yeah, I got
nothing.
nothing.
Messed that up. I'm in trouble. Check out their Facebook page, or indeed links in the show notes at radiofreescaro.com. Hey, more big finishes coming to the old popular vinyl format. Max Warp. Yeah, Max Warp, that Big Finish play is coming.
That's my detective name, by the way.
Max Warp is coming. ASDA will exclusively launch Doctor Who Max Warp, starring Paul McGann and Sheridan Smith on the 15th of November, which I believe is Paul McGann's birthday. Or is it the 14th? Around that time, anyway. So that's coming out on vinyl at ASDA. I imagine you could probably find yourself a copy elsewhere. I don't know. They're limited to 2,000 for editions on color splatter effect vinyl, so with brand new artwork and production notes and everything else. So yeah, please note this product only available in the UK at ASDA stores, so very, very exclusive. Get the hence to an ASDA on November 15th and pick this up.
I always have a hard time wrapping my head around how exclusive, weird sort of side Doctor Who stuff is a thing in England, that you could just go to a specific store and get, as opposed to here where it just sit in a bin somewhere and people ignore it. Even if Doctor Who is popular, there wouldn't be the same outreach, right, I guess, as we have here. I know,
like the character options ones, those are only like what, B&N shops? Yeah. Jealous of those, by the way. But you got one more, but you had to go through
yes, I did.
Get people we know to go to the UK, and
yep, I needed a fence.
You
basically.
did, exactly.
Who I thank profusely for his work.
To get you Harry Sullivan and the Sontarans.
Yep. Appearing this week in Bookshelf Doctors. I'm sure you're all very excited.
There it is. That's the plug, folks. Also coming out, we've talked about Obverse Books in the past, because they do great little deep dives into single stories. They've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now. Ones we've talked to James Curry Smith of this one, about his one on the massacre. There's a whole bunch of different books out there. Liz Miles has done one.
Black
Archive series is the name of the whole series. Anyway, they also have done other stuff, including Iris Wildthyme, fiction novels. The latest one is coming out. It's Iris Wildthyme and the Polythene Terror, written by Paul Mars, with brilliant artwork by Andrew Mark Thompson. Andy Drews on the Twitter. So that's coming out. It's on pre-order right now, so you can get that and all the other ones. It's the 17th Iris Wildthyme book, and we haven't even talked about it. It's ridiculous, but
we're terrible.
Terrible stuff. They do good work at Obverse Books, and we are happy to plug their wares here on this here podcast, Radio Free Skaro. A couple of things left before the commentary for Kerblam. Arthur Darvill is coming to Chicago TARDIS next month. Yeah, Arthur Darvill announces as the next guest. He joins Tosin Cole and Paul McGann and Sylvester McCoy for the 20th edition of Chicago TARDIS. I finally booked flights, Erica and I, so we're going to be there. Which is going to be fun. It'll be fun. I've never had the chance to interview Arthur Darvill. I think he was only at one Gallifrey 1, I want to say. I remember him posing with a picture of Pons in the lobby once, or in the downstairs, which is pretty cool. So that'll be cool. He's had a very interesting and varied career since his Doctor Who days, including in that CW show. What's it called?
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, that's one.
Which basically turned into an American Doctor Who in a lot of ways.
Did it really? Oh, that's right. You were a fan of that show for a while, weren't you, Chris?
Still am.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I adore it. Of all the Arrowverse stuff, it is far and away my favorite.
Interesting, because it did not start out that way. I heard people think, "Oh, what's this nonsense?" But then it sort of turned people around.
Well, they took it quote unquote seriously, and then they leaned into the stupid, and apparently people like
always
that,
lean into the stupid.
It is.
I'm not saying they shouldn't have.
Yeah, it is. it can get very silly, but in a good way.
See, this is what I'll give the DC TV shows, and I'm not interested in them, but I will give them the fact that they will try new things, as opposed to the DC movies where they're, other than the Joker, where they did try new stuff, I guess, just generally morose poop fests. Anyway, digressing slightly.
Is Arthur Darvill still on that show, Grace?
I know he left a while. He's been back for like guest appearances here and there, but he left it not that long into it. It just finished the 4th season, and he left like season 1 or 2.
Oh, wow. So he's a flight risk is what you're saying.
A flight risk, yes. He'll be arrested at Dulles Airport, like a couple of Russians were there.
Arthur Darvill coming to Chicago TARDIS. Hopefully you are too. November 29th to December 1st, a.k.a. American Thanksgiving. Be there or be square. The last bit, boy, that sounded like an abrupt edit, and it wasn't. Stephen Moore, famous for the voice and role of Marvin the Paranoid Android in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and also played Eldane, the elder Silurian in Cold Blood, has sadly passed away at the age of 81. He was in a whole bunch of other stuff. People were all on Twitter sort of just saying all the wonderful things he was in and how nice he was and stuff, but come on, he is the definitive Marvin the Paranoid Android.
Yes, he is.
What a glorious performance.
Who'd they get for the movie? Because I recall the voice not as Marvin.
Yep,
Marvin. He was the voice of the book. He wasn't the voice of Marvin.
No, he was the voice of the movie.
Was he the voice of the movie too? I know Warwick Davis was the bot. I don't know.
No, he was the voice of the book.
Chris, you're going to have to look into that. But
furious Googling.
Just, God, I've every line.
Like a fool, but I thought it was Stephen Fry.
Well, yeah.
No, he's the voice of the book. Trust me on this, and he's a great voice of the book.
Well, let's talk about Stephen Moore, who is the definitive voice of the book.
Yes,
and I mean the book of Marvin the Paranoid Android. I just like every line that he did. Just even the body language in that robot costume was like, this is just ridiculous. I hope he did the body language of it. I hope he was actually in it, but maybe he wasn't actually. He was the voice of it. He was just superb. I mean,
Alan Rickman.
There we are. I thought so.
Oh, yeah, which is also quite a good Marvin. Take away from Stephen.
Sorry, Stephen Fry. You're right. Was the narrator.
Yeah. Yes. Stephen Moore. Anyway, just iconic in that role as Marvin, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which admittedly I did not see, but he was also a varied actor on the stage as well. And I do remember when he appeared in Doctor Who, it was like, oh my God, Marvin the Paranoid Android's in Doctor Who. And you know what? Even though he was in like a Silurian makeup and stuff, you could still just hear a hint of that Marvin voice in there. So.
Well, just even hearing it on radio when I was introduced to it on the CBC with radio, and he is what makes it the whole thing for you on radio.
He's kind of like, he's basically like Douglas Rain as Hal in 2001. You know, it's a relatively small part in a way, but it's just like so necessary and so iconic that it just makes the whole thing hang together. And so that's what he did. So very sad news too. Once again, end of news list, but that's how we do it here on Ready Free Skaro. But hey, the sadness ends here, everyone. Perk up, because it's time for our Series 11 commentaries after the very short break to resume with Kerblam with guests Beth and Kezia for the time, ladies. Enjoy. Time, everyone, for episode 7, our commentary for Kerblam. And joining us, we have not one but 2 folks joining us for the commentary, all the way from merry old England. Nobody calls it merry old England anymore. It's Beth and Kezia from the Time Ladies. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
First off, why did you choose Kerblam as an episode to the commentary for?
I think, Beth, you take that one. So I think out of Series 11, there's like 3 episodes that are just really, really fun and like give me that kind of like, I think there's a lot, like I love all of the episodes in Series 11, but there's a couple that just make me go, oh, it's so fun. It's like Doctor Who. It's just exactly what I need from the show like right now. Like Arachnids in the UK is like another one where I'm just like, yes, I love the vibe of this. And Kerblam just had that really traditional Doctor Who feeling for me. And I was just like, yeah, I want to talk about that. And again, I don't feel like we've talked about this one too much as well, so I think it'd be interesting to talk about and like watch again together.
we've had a few conversations about how it has a kind of rewatchability to it that maybe some of the other episodes don't have. And me and Beth have this thing where like our favourite episodes of Doctor Who are ones that you just, I mean, it sounds really obvious, but it's ones that you can put on at any time and you just want to rewatch, and they're just easy and they're fun.
Yeah, I feel like with a couple of, like, I love episodes like Rosa and Demons and all the like really serious, hard-hitting ones, but it's much easier to rewatch something like Kerblam because I guess sometimes I'm not quite in the mood to cry or be upset or like, you know, all of those things. As much as they're amazing episodes, I just kind of want to stick on like Arachnids and be like, lol, this is fun, or Kerblam, or just like, and have a good time. So yeah.
It's like watching like Tortured Children of Earth is probably the best thing that Russell T Davies ever did in the Doctor Who universe, and I've watched it precisely twice in 10 years because I can't stomach watching it any more than that. It's too brilliant, but too like just overpowering, you know?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's sort of I would rather watch Love and Monsters every single day than suffer through Doomsday. Like,
yes, virtual high five for Love and Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's my, please don't get me started. It's my absolute favourite episode ever, and I will hear nothing else on the matter.
I will not argue with you on this. It's very good.
So tell us about Time Ladies then, the blog, the website, the Twitter account that I think has at one point counted Chris Chibnall as its fans and followers. When did that start, and how did it all come about?
Kez, do you want to explain?
Yeah, so we started the Time Ladies. Well, Beth had this great idea for it, and then she was like, come on, get involved. And I was like, yes, sounds great. So it's a space online for any Doctor Who fan, actually. But the people who contribute and make it are female, trans, or non-binary. And we just felt that there was a space lacking in the Doctor Who community where people who were female, predominantly female, but also trans and non-binary, would have a voice about their opinions on the television show, maybe parts of the show that haven't really been covered. So it sounds like really stereotypically feminine things, but like costume or feminism within Doctor Who. And we've done like more traditionally like feminine things like makeup tutorials and like costume things. But then we also talk a lot about politics and feminism and like gender dynamics in the show as well. So that's what we set out to do, and we've kind of grown it from a blog because we now have the podcast as well, Time Ladies Talk, and then we also have started doing reaction videos as well to some of the episodes that are in the classic, the collections that are coming out at the moment. So it's a lot of different things, but we love getting guest writers as well, and kind of hearing from as many fans as possible is kind of our main goal.
Yeah, I think recently I've been wanting to include, I guess, more people more and more, because I just feel like there's so many women and trans people and, like you say, non-binary people that just don't have the platforms yet, or like a way to get into the Doctor Who world. It's very, like, this is going to sound, you know how it's going to sound, but it's very predominantly male. And,
we're aware.
And it's been very hard to break through that. Like, yeah. I think the reason I created it in the first place was because I didn't feel it's not like I felt unwelcome. I just didn't feel like I fitted in or had the type of things I wanted to see, or could celebrate it in the way that I wanted to, because it's all very, very, you know, male led, and you have to be, I guess, even if you're a woman in fandom, sometimes you have to be like a certain type of woman. And so I was like, I'm fed up of that. I kind of want to just make the content for the women who are just like, want to talk about the costumes, or like how female bodies are shown in the show. Well, do you know what I mean? Just like things that weren't already out there. And so we've been looking recently at some other like female artists, and like talking to trans people, and just like getting as many kind of different things that we can inside our content, just so that I just want everyone to feel welcome in the world of Doctor Who. I don't want anyone to ever feel like the way that I felt before I made the blog. So yeah no gatekeeping. Like, we talk a lot about classic Doctor Who, but we also have a stance on it that we know that a lot of people haven't watched classic Doctor Who, so or listen to Big Finish, so we put out stuff that maybe is an introduction to classic Who as a like nice little step on point, or for Big Finish or something like that. So we want it to be as inclusive a space, an online space, as possible. But yeah, and then like you said, Chris Chibnall might have read it. So hurrah!
You've done great work. I'm impressed actually with how much about the classic series, just because we got a 20-year head start on you by being able to watch it when we were kids. How did you come about the classic show, and how did you watch so much in so little of a time?
I mean, Kez has watched all of it, so she's probably better, has more of what to say on this. But I think I just, more than anything, had got so obsessed with the show that I just needed to know everything about it. And I think I probably know more about Classic Who from books and the internet and all of that sort of thing, documentaries, than actually watching it. And then I sort of have been watching it over the years, dipping in and out. The 50th anniversary was a great way to learn more and watch more and all of that. And then I think last year was when I was kind of I want to watch it from the beginning. And I started with the first Doctor and got completely, obsessed with. He's definitely one of my favorite Doctors. And then, with Time Team as well, we kind of got to watch a lot of Classic Who for that. And as well as the Blu-rays, I feel like we're getting so many, and the Twitch streams, there's so many more ways to watch it and experience Classic Who now and celebrate it. I just think over the years, I've just kind of become more and more interested in it because there's so much more of it available, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the way that most people, who have ended up watching Doctor Who from 2005 onwards, is just kind of such a love for the show. And then when you realise there's so much more of it, it's just that excitement of wanting to kind of fill in the blanks. I remember thinking, for example, that the Ninth Doctor, when he was talking about the Time War, and I remember watching Classic Who and being I can't wait for the Time War. And I was oh no, it's never coming because it didn't happen within this part of the show. But I felt when I started watching Classic Who, I literally only started watching it from the beginning because I didn't really know that many people. I didn't have any friends really at the time who loved Doctor Who as much as I did. So I didn't really have any recommendations to go on. So I thought I'll just start from, it's just easy. It sounds really stupid. I thought, it's just easiest to start from the beginning and just watch it all in order. And it took I can't remember now. I think it was 2 years or something. And I was just solidly watching Doctor Who. And it was brilliant because then you get to see the character arcs and you get to see it the way that people were watching it at the time. But then there are lots of episodes and stories that I can't remember now because I've just watched them once. So it sounds really impressive, but actually there are lots where I'm what happened in that story again? Just tell me something.
Yeah. Or sometimes like that too. We're basically we're all in the same boat, and that no one liked the show as much as we did growing up, and so we had to sort of stumble around and look for it ourselves, and we have. We're all here together to watch Kerblam, which is an episode written by someone who I believe was very much in the same boat as us. Pete McTighe is a big fan of the classic series, so I imagine it was a dream come true to him to watch this. It's a dream come true for us to watch his episode now. So. Queue up your legally purchased Blu-ray editions from North America or wherever if you want to be out of sync with our NTSC nonsense, because we're going to watch Kerblam, everyone. So begin to press play in 3, 2, 1, play. There's our charming BBC logo.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Do that
Have
before.
You not? Oh,
maybe they have it on the classic Blu-rays. I think it's new though.
It is
the weird spirally thing.
I think that's the third or fourth different BBC logo we've had over the course of the modern series. Somebody should chart that or something. But
I wish they would leave it.
When there used to be one that was do 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 do.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my childhood BBC.
Yeah.
That's the videotape one, isn't it? Yeah. Or is that the DVD one?
I can't remember.
I think it's a DVD
It was used for DVDs for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
I've just completely forgot. Did Series 11 have no pre-title sequences?
None.
Didn't have it.
Yeah,
oh
no
my
cold
gosh.
opens.
Yeah, that is not. I'm not a fan of that. Really.
Unless you want to count.
True.
Unless you want to count the women who fell to Earth as the whole episode was a cold open.
Yeah, very true.
Is this our first coatless Jodie?
Oh no, we've had coatless Jodie.
The Witchfinders was after. Oh, the little tiny TARDIS on the console.
Yeah.
I love Jodie in this.
Oh, I love her.
I love Jodie's performance in this bit.
Don't you think the Kerblam men. The
They're all
Kerblam men And the whole Kerblam stuff is just some of the best designed stuff in Doctor Who of recent years. I love it.
It's really creepy. I almost
the
feel
logo.
like it's that kind of like Robots of Death feel, and that it's like,
oh my god, yeah, it's terrifying.
Just turn at like any minute.
We just purchased. Oh, sorry.
No, that's good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say we just purchased a little Kerblam man to look after our post near our front door. So when the post comes, we'll just slide it under the Kerblam man to look after.
That's cute.
I was just going to say, I remember in Classic Who, nothing could get into the TARDIS, except when it did. And now she just lets deliveries in. No problem.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's almost really weird that it's been like 55 years and this hadn't happened before, like Space Post. I mean, what kind of, if you don't count like things like in The Doctor's Wife with the little thingy boxes, but this is, like actual Space Post. I can't believe that hasn't happened before.
Well, they got junk mail in Greatest Show in the Galaxy, which is where my mind went to. Because they had the little robot advertising the Psychic Circus.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that story for so long.
Oh no, Warren has done that on purpose, I believe. He doesn't like the McCoy era.
I'm not a fan of the McCoy era, no.
No, he's not.
Oh, look at that green screen, guys!
Just I really like this.
I don't know what you mean. They surely they actually found a massive giant warehouse too.
I
like how Ryan's just like, oh my god, back to work. No thanks.
I was in San Antonio for work once, and we drove by a massive Amazon warehouse, and it wasn't a lot smaller than that.
Really?
God, wow. That's terrifying.
But
well, they've got land to burn in San Antonio.
Space Amazon. Oh, this woman is so cool. I love her.
She's in Broadchurch Series 3, isn't she? She's like the main woman.
Yeah, so I was just thinking she was in Coronation Street for years.
Corey.
Chris watched Corey.
And in Russell's, I think, Russell T Davies' show Cucumber?
Yep, she was.
Or Banana, those ones.
She was in one of them. Well, not Russell, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, she's so good, isn't she? I really love her.
Played the first trans character on Coronation Street.
Yes, very sure. I remember when I saw that, and I was quite young, and I remember it was probably like my first memory of like anything to do with trans, like of it being an idea
on the television.
Yeah,
it's quite good for quarantine. Oh, hey, Lee Mack.
Lee Mack.
Don't you feel like Lee Mack is like your family friend? That's probably the brand that he wants.
I like how Lee Mack is just playing Lee Mack in this as well. He's just he's not got a character. It's so funny.
Why these robots need vests? They're not going to get cold.
That's true. Why do any of the of the charm, the middle management? They're middle management. You see, middle management always wear these like little vests now. These little
that's true.
Vests.
Yes, that's the new trendy thing for people with MBAs and no imagination.
I have to say, I love the design of this little airport scanner that Graham's in there.
Yeah, I think the art and like the sets and everything on this is so well designed on this story.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like that futuristic, but it's not impossible that you could see it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like accessible futurism.
Yeah.
No like silver jumpsuits or anything like that.
Yeah, though I wouldn't say no to that.
I wouldn't say exactly. I was going to say the exact same
sooner or
thing,
later, this has to happen. We'll all be wearing the silver jumpsuits that were predicted.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want the flying cars. I want the silver jumpsuits. Exactly.
Yeah, we want to be dressed like Zoe.
10% people powered.
Organic powered.
She's so good. The way she delivers her lines in this, I find it so incredible. She's so funny.
I had never heard of Lee Mack or Julie Hesbenhow. Because I live in Western Canada, and I know Doctor Who, and I know the occasional series I watch because of actors who are in Doctor Who. So when the actor role came up at the end of Women Who Fell to Earth, I'm going, I think I know that person, don't know that person, don't know that person. So,
well, these two are quite iconic. I think there's some really good guest actors in Series 11, but I think if you're a casual viewer in England, I think you'd know these two people and you'd be really invested.
Yeah. Like Bradley Walsh. Bradley Walsh is another person I never even knew about until this.
Bradley Walsh had like the #1 album in like 2017 in the UK.
Absolute national treasure.
He had the #1 album in the UK in 2017.
What standards? Like, what was it?
Yeah, just wondering.
Yeah,
what was
he
that?
sings. There's like this whole wave of like a new wave of like middle-aged men who kind of used to be ex-TV stars, and they were obviously Bradley Walsh is a current TV star, so it's exempt from that. But they all sing like show tunes and like jazz, and
and they just put it on an album.
On DIY.
This is news to me.
Also got an album.
Wow.
And all the mums just love it, and they just buy it in their thousands, and then they win the #1 album.
Although
Game.
Bradley
Win
Walsh
it.
is a big fan of Stormzy, and then Stormzy was like, "Hey, I'll collab with you on a track."
Oh my god!
So everybody
I
loves
want that to
Bradley.
happen.
See, I could see Bradley Walsh. A long time ago, Bernard Cribbins did a song called Right Said Fred.
Oh my god, one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see Bradley Walsh doing that.
I've got sort of feeling if we remove the ceiling.
Right said Fred. We need the I don't know the words, but
Was he in trouble? Half a ton of rubble.
there it is.
Oh my gosh, the doctor's disappointment that she can't go on the conveyor. Same girl. It's things like that I'm just like, that's my doctor. I love her.
I like that extra was looking really chuffed that he was an extra.
Wouldn't you? Wouldn't we all?
This whole ankle bracelet thing kind of disturbs me.
The what does?
The ankle bracelet. There seems to be a lot of that through the entire series, that they've got some sort of like bomb in their throat or like an ankle bracelet or something restricting them.
I was seeing people on Twitter earlier being like really shocked about the ankle bracelet thing, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing that actually happens in shops and stuff now. Like people have to wear trackers and carry around trackers. Like when I worked at a clothing store, we had these like trackers that tracked our how like many like if we were in the stock room, it like tracked our progress, and we would get in trouble if we didn't like scan a certain amount of clothes or find a certain amount of clothes and send them down. Like it was like all really quite similar.
Dystopian, I think, is the word you're looking for.
I think it's the word.
Disgusting. Yes.
Actually, it was Dystopia up on in Leicester Square, isn't it? Yeah. That's the name of the
Hello,
film.
team.
Is it better or worse that this robot is like Jimmy Corporate guy?
Honestly, it's a 3-finger thing that creeps me out. Cause
yeah, why have they got some tar in the fingers? I don't get it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, him with his mop.
I love Ryan's smile there.
Oh, Kira, my child. She's so sweet.
And the greatest contribution to cosplay ever, the bubble wrap. So you can just bring bubble wrap.
That's so true.
Kara is so precious and charming and innocent that it's a real tragedy when, spoilers, later on in this episode, she's horribly killed.
Yeah, it's so heartbreaking. She's so sweet.
Thing is, you know that something bad is going to happen to her because she's so sweet.
It really reminded me of how back in the Russell T Davies era, there would always be like guest characters that you always just rooted for so much, and I just felt like before this we hadn't had that in like a long time, and so like I was like, oh, she's so cute. I just want to be her friend and help her pack her things.
and some of them like the End of the World, the maintenance,
the blue robot lady. Blue robot? No, that's not. I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know who I mean. Yeah, that whole scene was written in because the episode was like 7 minutes under running. So Russell T Davies created a character, had the audience fall in love with her, and then kill her off in the space of like 5 minutes.
Oh,
it's really funny as well because I did some research on her once because I'm weird like this, and that actress has just done nothing ever since. Like that's like the only acting she ever did. I think. I'm pretty sure.
She was great in that. That's terrible.
She was great. I know.
Maybe she felt that, well, I can't do any better than that.
Yeah, well, exactly. I was a blue person on Doctor Who. Don't need to do anything else.
Exactly.
It's that really sad bit where she says, like, thank you for giving me permission.
Mm-hmm.
When she says, like, oh, I've only had one present ever. And it's just that, you know, when you get, like, a gift from someone that's, like, I don't know, like a picture in a frame, and you're like, this is the best thing I've ever gotten given. Like, and it's just, she just makes you feel so grateful for, like, all the little things.
Like a thing, like the prize in a Kinder Surprise egg. Is that a thing that I can say? Will everybody get that reference? I can't remember.
Oh, yes.
In the States, they don't have Kinder Surprise, so I have to walk on eggshells. No pun intended.
I love Kinder Surprises. They're great.
They were a maximum treat. If you ever got a Kinder Surprise, like you'd either got like a good report at school or you'd fallen over and hurt yourself or something.
Yes.
Maximum treat.
Here's the Commonwealth and our Kinder Surprise eggs. You missed out on that, America, when you decided to go independent.
And, other more recent problems.
Yeah.
The shade.
So so did Time Ladies come about before Jodie Whittaker's announcement or just after, or when was that?
3 months before.
3 months before. Were you anticipating, or are you just thinking, hey, let's make a Doctor Who website? Oh my God, they cast a woman as Doctor Who.
Yeah, I'm literally still in shock because I remember calling up the Time Ladies, creating it, and then that happened, and I was like, now we have a time, like what, the words Time Lady were everywhere all of a sudden, and I was like, I was not expecting this. I chose that name because I think me and Kez and a few others were in a group chat trying to devise a name where we were like, oh, this sounds niche enough. Like, this won't be a thing. And then it was, and it was really weird.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they were even, the rumours weren't even for a woman at the time.
No,
I think they were all for, what's his face?
Chris Russell, was it? No.
Yeah,
Chris
Marshall.
Chris Marshall,
yeah. They were all
I was never expecting it. I was not expecting it until a couple of days before, and I saw the first rumour, and I was like, actually, yeah, I want the next Doctor to be a woman. But before that, I hadn't even thought about it or thought it was a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they'd do it, to be honest. I was like, no, it's too brave. I'm not sure they're going to do it. And then look.
Yeah.
I was shouting that out when I watched it. I remember saying they did it. They did it. I just was so proud, I guess, of the BBC and the Doctor Who.
I was proud too. Yeah. And I feel proud whenever I watch these as well, because I'm like, look what they've done.
This bit is really nice. It's a nice humanising bit amongst all the kind of dystopian stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Yaz gets her nice little moment. I really love Yaz. I'd love to see more development for her because I think she's just so sweet.
I think we all would. I think that's an ongoing thread in the commentaries that we've been doing, is that we love Yaz. Let's see more Yaz.
The thing is, I think I love all of the companions, but I just feel they haven't all had their turn. Do you know what I mean? There hasn't been enough development for all of them. Sorry, Kez, I just interrupted you.
That's all right. Apart from Ryan. I feel like Ryan has had his really good arc.
Yes, true.
And he kind of has, sorted out his relationship with his father. But even in this story, like Yaz is a policewoman. Like she's kind of taking on a case right now, and yet we don't really get to see much of it. It's literally just this little sequence, and then it's done because, sorry, Lee Mac, but you're going to die.
There's a moment later on where she grabs the Charlie and does a policey thing, which I thought was quite cool. But it would be cool to see more of what she can do.
Yeah, definitely.
But I like how she's intrigued and excited and she's trying to find out information. She really wants to do. She wants to be that policeman.
I want to see, because I feel like all companions are like that. The difference with her is that she's almost like equipped. She's literally trained to do this kind of thing, to solve problems. So I want to see her actually solve it.
Very true. Oh my God, that's terrifying, isn't it?
You're so right, Beth. All the artwork on this episode is really great.
I really want a Kerblam box. They're it's just I love the little design.
I mean, that's an easy enough cardboard box with painting on it. You could
very
sell
true.
that for 10.
Maybe I will dress as a Kerblam. I'm going to go to Gallifrey one day. And I'm going to dress as a Kerblam box. No, the Kerblam box, Kez. I'm going to have bubble wrap.
There were lots of Kerblam men there this past time.
There were.
Really?
Oh, were there?
It's like a life goal to go to that convention. It looks incredible.
It is excellent.
If you can go. We speak from a position of privilege, being in Western Canada. It's a short flight for us.
It's a 3-hour flight for me, straight down. So.
it is an epic undertaking for someone from the UK to fly all the way across and like jet lag and getting time off work and all that. But it is, if you can manage to do it, do it. It's so worth your time.
I really do want to look into it. It's just mostly the money. Like it's a huge amount of money to, and getting time off work and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
One day we'll make it.
Yeah. Gallifrey 1 2022.
The day I got hired, I was like, these are the days I have to have off. There's no negotiating this. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, Janelle.
They do. I thought they were doing it in alphabetical order there for a second, but
yeah. This actress is so convincing. Of like, she makes the world that they're in seem so real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, me, no. You know what's going to happen.
As soon as he shows her his necklace saying this will outlast anything, you know he's a Connor.
Bye.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
He kind of has like about the same duration of appearance / cameo as the guy who played the doctor guy on Saranga Conundrum. Like he's like, here's the main
Brett
guest actor.
Goldstein, the absolute love of my life. Yes, I will talk about him.
And he's dead in like 20 minutes.
It's so sad. But that man is a comedian and has a very good podcast called Films to Be Buried With. You should check it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's really funny.
He's really great.
He's just he's got the nicest voice ever. Mm-hmm. Oh, I should probably stop talking about Brett Goldstein.
Talk about whatever you like. You can talk about shipping warehouses.
Oh boy.
I'm sure this is the location, unless they built a specially with glass. I'd like to call these glass shops.
Well, that could be a matte painting too, like the end of
Raiders
of the Lost
Ark. It's probably definitely a matte painting. We will nerd out on camera angles and other such things on here. Be warned.
Oh no, go for it. It's interesting. Oh, she found the necklace.
Guys, I just went to IKEA.
I just think this is like
so scary.
Section 28A.
I can't build any of this stuff. What the hell? Why are there 3 extra pieces?
I actually went to IKEA recently and I really did feel like I was in Kerblam.
And now when she goes, she's like, I need to go to the canteen.
Good.
The meatballs.
Graeme is great. He's so great in this.
What? Their fingers are so weird.
I know. Look at that. They are sometimes, aren't they?
They're doing the
Have you
Vulcan
guys
salute.
seen American Horror Story by any chance?
I haven't.
Only the first series and not all of that.
So Evan Peters plays his character in Freak Show who has really weird hands. And they look like the Kerblam man's hands, but it won't make sense unless you've seen it.
Oh. Or Silence Hand, too, I suppose. They have sort of 3 big...
Yeah, that's true.
Hand.
Yeah, they do.
If I ever meet someone in real life who actually is, like, has 3 fingers, like, you know, I hate to say it, but my initial reaction will be, I am not trusting you. No offense.
You are a terrible human being.
I know,
Doctor
because
Who
of
has
Sontarans.
been really prejudiced to those 3-fingered people.
Check for a probic vent.
Yeah, like 3 giant fingers, you know, like not like having
the
lost
giant
2 fingers.
quilted outfit and helmet might be a giveaway too.
You know, the round potato head.
Yeah.
Continually talking about war and the glory of the Sontaran Empire, also a clue. This reminds me of Recess and how much I disliked Recess.
Yeah, it's like they're having forced fun.
Yeah, exactly. These little... This is like IKEA, but outside. This is outside IKEA.
Yeah.
Break room.
It's also
Actually
super
applied
easy
to-
to film, so why not?
Yeah. Is it, though? It's a sunny day. I mean...
Yeah,
well,
but other than
it's a
lighting,
not
what do
raining
you got to
day.
do? Here's some cubes, some stand there, the end.
Oh, Graham's so funny.
Also, why are they mopping outside, guys? It's grass.
Why
Just
are
gonna
they
ask the
mopping
same
outside?
thing. Isn't
Leave
that
your stuff
counterproductive?
Yeah, leave it with you.
Can we talk about the fact that they're wearing boiler suits, which is like a massive fashion trend right now? And I see women wearing them on the tube all the time. Yeah, it's massive in London right now. Like boiler suits as a thing that women wear for fashion. They're really
So I
cute.
suspect this in about a year or so is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Replacing the yoga nonsense that we have here all perpetually.
Oh, yeah, we also have that.
London has everything.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, you
Boiler
sounded so
suits.
forlorn about that.
I know. I
mean, it's
I wish
really
we
just
had
like
boiler suits here.
it's really just like
He lives
tube
in the
stress
Canadian
and
equivalent of Birmingham, so yeah.
oh wow.
Well, maybe not Birmingham. I was going to say Sheffield, but this show makes that cool too. So, what's a terminally uncool area, industrial area of England?
Probably Sheffield, to be honest.
There you go, Sheffield.
No, like Slough.
Leicester
Don't
or Slough,
dare
yeah.
call it
Yeah.
Slough.
Edmonton is
Come
Slough.
on.
Thank you so much. You would not believe how much fuel this just gave me.
I actually like this here, like Mr. Slay. Like even his name screams villain. His suit, his pinstripe suit screams
His
villain.
suit looks like the man from Daleks in Manhattan who becomes Daleks there.
Yes, maybe he is the guy from Dogs Manhattan.
Human
mutation.
Yeah.
Oh no. Let us know whether or not it definitely freezes. I really love that this room that they're in is kind of like Brutalist Barbican feel, but in the future. I love all the wooden paneling.
Yeah, it's very modern, isn't it?
Well, it's almost like 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it looked modern.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Did you just say handmaiden?
No, modern.
Oh.
Yeah. Or postmodern. I find that the series designers are better at disguising actual real world locations to the point now, like, I don't know if this is a sort of an altered real world location or an actual set.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
You could usually, like, I have lost count of picking out which times the RTD era shot, like in the city of Cardiff Millennium Stadium basement or something like
or
that.
in the thingy Royal Infirmary place in Cardiff. Oh my god.
Yeah. Like we saw the Doctor Who experience there back in 2015, and Gary Russell happened to be there, and so he was taking us on an impromptu tour around Cardiff.
Nice.
And like,
that's nice.
Like, pretty cool.
And like, he was pointing out, okay, that's where they shot that. Here's where they shot this, and this. Here's where and like, wow, we've walked 8 steps and covered 30 Doctor Who episodes.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it?
My favourite is when the Millennium Centre doubles up as like, which one is it? Is it the Louvre? No, it's what the other one.
New Earth and Girl Who Waited.
No, but I mean in it's
Vincent the Doctor
Gallery. Yeah, Vincent and the Doctor is the Parisian Art Gallery.
I thought that was a museum in Cardiff.
No, it's like they literally it's like they like map it on to the front of the Millennium Centre.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like obviously the Millennium Centre, and it's like, wow, the Millennium Centre is so much.
Yeah, Millennium Centre's great. I remember walking in there for like the first time and just being so shook because it just looks like New Earth, and I'm like, oh, I've walked into New Earth. There's a little boat ride that you can go on in Cardiff Bay, and the guy on the boat knows a lot. I guess he's just learned a lot about the Doctor Who locations, and he kind of points out, like, if you look over there, there's Penarth where they filmed Sojourn Adventures, and that's the hotel that Russell T Davies wrote loads of Doctor Who in, and where their cast stay. And he like turned around and was like, and that's where the episode with Peter Kay was filmed, and I was just lost it. I was like, oh my god, like the bit in Love and Monsters at the beginning was filmed like near the Doctor Who experience, like behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great. Yeah, and then we could see Amy Pond's house from the Bay boat tour.
I got to stand on the steps when it didn't appear in the episode where the Master goes, and these are my friends. So I did that myself because I like, well, when I get to do this again.
Are they the ones in the Millennium Centre?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I've done that too.
I like how you guys just sound really creepy in the Millennium Centre. And these are my friends.
Yeah.
I think I've got a video of me doing it somewhere, being weird.
I think I have a photo, but I don't know where. Someone else's phone, probably.
London exists. London and Cardiff exist, sure, purely so we can go there and pose next to locations they used in Doctor Who.
Well, we were a block from Sherlock's exteriors, so there's that.
That's
true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the one by Euston Square Station.
You got it.
Outside Speedies.
We stayed there for like a week and like walked down the street, and it was like, oh, wait a second, that's Speedy's right there. What the hell?
And we snuck it in as a cameo for our gallery for LFA video.
Yeah.
If buildings so good. I remember at the end of series too, like after the Reichenbach Ball, and I lived a few stops away on the tube when I was living in my university halls, and me and my friend got on the tube and just went there and just stood outside Speedy's, and we didn't know what we were going to do once we got there, but we were like, here we are, it looks great, let's go home.
I've never seen it.
I met somebody else from Vancouver, and she asked which part of Vancouver I was from, and I got a withering glare. I'm like, I come halfway across the world to get stared at angrily? What the hell is this? About local concerns? What?
Don't judge me.
Yeah, I was being judged. And not in my own city either. By someone from my city. It was very strange.
That's the problem with conspiracy. So I figured we... Hey, Kerblam's happening in front of us. I'm enjoying this conversation. Hey, Kerblam. No, this is what we do.
Doctor's just like, I knew that, but I forgot that, which is literally my life, because I forget everything.
Yeah.
Weirdly fell open.
Just like with watching it with just subtitles on, I'm really aware of more than ever how much the Doctor is speaking versus how much Ryan and Yaz are speaking.
There's a lot.
Like, I love the Doctor, but like, I've noticed it so much more, even with the sound off, that they barely say, look, they're just looking.
I think that's the curse of having so many people in the TARDIS. If there was just one companion, there'd be more equal speaking, but it's kind of hard to spread those lines across that many people.
It might depend on, I often found that like Matt Smith would sort of like hover in the background being weird, and Amy and Rory would sort of be talking about the situation together, and that kind of created a bit of a distance between the viewer and the Doctor, which made him mysterious, and also Matt Smith was delightfully weird. Or Jodie's a little more take charge, I think.
Do you think it's kind of like a balance between, with Amy and Rory, I guess they're like a couple, but sort of with Yaz and Ryan, there's we don't get to see much of their dynamic, so it's kind of like they're being written around, they're sort of writing around that with the other guest characters and the Doctor, where maybe they should explore it a bit more, kind of like what they are to each other.
Earlier. Like because like they went to school together. I'd love it if they were even just like, oh, do you remember in like year 3 with like Mrs. Roberts, like how annoying she was, or when Jack P got caught in a door. Like, I'd really wish that they kind of had that grounding.
There's that really weird moment in Rosa where they're like climbing through a window, and then that Yaz talks about a guy in school or something, and then Ryan says he's punching or something, and it's really like quite odd, but it's kind of cute that they're talking about school. I think I want more of that.
Yeah. And to show that they're like getting closer as friends would be nice.
Yeah.
I've said this before, but having 3 companions in the TARDIS made a lot more sense, I think, in like the 60s when they were making like 50 episodes a year, and you can't expect William Hartnell to carry the entire plot the whole time. The way they made the show, they sort of bounce back between Doctor and companion, and then other storyline of 2 other companions, where it's tougher to work that in the new format, where it's only 50 minutes and
10 episodes.
10 episodes.
And it's also like, now we know Doctor Who to be almost like it does have a soapy element to it, and that we really care about the characters and their relationships with another, and it's a proper drama. Whereas previously it's like, they're going to go and they're going to get our planet, there's going to be an adventure, and that's going to be it, and it's on to the next story. Whereas like we expect like a more kind of relationshipy, drama-esque Doctor Who now, I think.
Yeah, I was expecting, maybe a lot of people were, especially when Chibnall was announced, because Broadchurch was very much a serialized drama with with appointment viewing from week to week, and we expressly didn't get that at all for Series 11. What did you two? I'll start with Beth alphabetically. What did you think about what we got with Chibnall's first series, as opposed to what perhaps you thought you were going to get?
I think for the characters, I think we got great kind of like, I think we could have had more time with them, like each separate one, like as we've been discussing. But I think on the whole, the characterization is like really good from Chibnall's end, and like the way that they're kind of all introduced and their kind of little stories, like Graeme and Grace and Ryan, and I think Yaz is really cool as well, but I guess just like they haven't really incorporated her as much because they've been focusing a lot on the Ryan storyline. So I like how everything's characterized, but I do feel like for Chibnall's episodes in particular, I feel like he runs out of time or doesn't like wrap them up in a way that's kind of like matches some of the episodes from other writers. For example, like Kerblam, I feel like it's a really nice standalone story. But I think probably like my least favourite episode would have been the Battle of Ranskor of Kolos. And some of his other ones from the series just didn't quite like stand up as much as like the guest characters ones. And I mostly think that's probably because he had so much to write. And like how can one person write that much and, you know, get the characterization, the plot and blah, blah, blah. But I think he's better at doing the characters and the family stuff and the soapy aspect of it than he is like the sci-fi aspect of it.
Right.
Which I think in theory, it's like he's great as a showrunner, but perhaps like there should be more of a writer's room thing of like different people working on stories and stuff to incorporate into what he's bringing to the table. So I really like it. I think I just want more time with the people and the worlds that he's creating, and there's like just not enough space for it all, perhaps.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Kezia?
I agree. I think that I mean part of the part of Doctor Who that I really like the most is kind of getting to know the people in the TARDIS, and then you care about where they're going and what they're doing and whether or not they're in danger because you care about them. And I think that the people in the TARDIS they're the ones that create the humour, they're the ones that create the emotion. And I don't quite feel as if they've nailed it yet because, like we've all just said, it's almost too many people and you can't get to know all of them within 10 episodes. But I think, because me and Beth were talking about this recently, we were just saying, it's not that we dislike any of the characters, it's that we want more of them. Like, we want to know more. It's like we were just talking about Yaz and how we want to know more. But I think it's a difficult balance. I actually thought that maybe that side of it was going to be Chibnall's strongest point because Broadchurch is so human, and looking at Jodie's character in it, Beth, like, you find out so much about her, and all the characters have so many different layers within Broadchurch. I mean, obviously, because it's a mystery. But I kind of expected more of that from him, whereas actually, I think it has been more about the sci-fi and the spaceships and that stuff. And I actually want more of the human bit, but I don't know if
I think that's the problem with it, isn't it, though? Because with Broadchurch, it's about the people, whereas Doctor Who is about the people, but like it's about the monsters and the space and the, you know, all of the things that are going on in the universe as well as the people. Yeah. So it's kind of like he hasn't quite struck that balance yet.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's that balance. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wonder what.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
Oh no, not to compare, current eras to previous eras, but looking at how Matt Smith's era was introduced, it was Matt Smith, and we saw a bit of Rory, but then he went away for a few episodes, and so we dealt with the Doctor and Amy, and then you introduced Rory into there, and then you introduced River Song, I suppose, into it after that. So you gradually sort of introduce elements into it, whereas this series, everyone and everything of this new era is in the show from the get-go, and you kind of have to move at a slower pace, I suppose, if you're going to get to everyone. No one really has a showcase episode because that would mean you'd put 3 other characters on the back burner, so to speak.
Yeah, and we're also getting to know a new Doctor who's just regenerated, and she doesn't, she's still learning about who she is, and then all the other people as well. I don't think that's happened in New Who with that many people, getting to know that many new people in one time.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I love this scene.
I was going to say, this is a hell of a scene.
It's making me feel a little bit seasick.
It's very New Earth. Yeah, not New Earth, gridlocky.
Yeah. Can you imagine this level of VFX in previous years? Nope.
Yeah.
That's a lot going on at once.
DNEG did this. They did this series. They also did the visual effects on Chernobyl. I don't know if anyone watched Chernobyl.
Oh my god, yes, I did.
Yeah,
incredible.
Great.
Yeah, the effects that you don't even notice the effects because it's just like creating 1986 Soviet Union out of nothing.
Yeah, it's incredible, Chernobyl.
Well, that's amazing to hear, though. How great is it that one of the best shows that people have talked about, like in the last year, Chernobyl, they had the same effects people with Doctor Who. That's amazing.
I think they did Wonder Woman 2 or are doing Wonder Woman 1984, I think.
Well, they won't be doing it by themselves. Like any big movie will have several different effects companies working on it at once.
Just one guy. One guy on his laptop.
One guy with an old
Effects.
laptop, an old Apple II.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so cute. Little robot.
Twirly.
I like how even when you read subtitles, I can hear like Graham's like Cockney East London accent. Like, you made him all nervous.
I just like the name Twirly.
I was about to say I like that they've named him Twirly.
Yeah, it's cute.
Such a little Doctor Who thing.
The more I think about Graeme, the more he is actually just becoming not Wilf age Bernard Cribbins, but Bernard Cribbins from Right Said Fred. Like that is
totally.
Yeah, Bernard Cribbins from the Peter Cushing films.
Bernard, exactly. Tom, the policeman or whatever.
I forgot he was in those.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite dreamy in them because he's like
a young man.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the granddaughter's name because it's not Susan.
No, it is Susan.
Like,
Susan.
Oh, it is Susan. It's grown up.
Oh,
Susan's
the other one.
Boyfriend.
Yeah, Louise. It's Louise, I think, in the second one, isn't it?
Louise.
Yeah.
I can't
Those
remember.
movies were
One
weird.
of them was Susan. But I love them so much.
Oh, she wants to help Twirly.
We all do.
Just want to give him a hug.
They should
Like,
sell.
he looked very tendenty coming out of there.
Yes, whoever just said they should sell, I agree. We should have a Twirly
to sell whatever.
Oh my god!
There's so much merchandise. I mean, okay, this is like Stormtrooper bad. This the aim that these automated shots.
True, very true.
But, yeah,
that's what they learned from.
I think that's Tosin Cole doing his own stunts again.
You know what? Sometimes I just want to watch Tosin. I don't even want to watch Ryan. I want to watch Tosin just do his own show.
Kaz!
Do you watch his Instagram stories when he's cooking?
He's so funny.
He's so great. I went to college with one of his best friends and I told him this on the train when I sat next to him. And he was like, oh, yeah, damn, yeah. I told him I bumped into you. I was like, oh,
so weird. So after the Doctor Who premiere, Kaz got on the train and Tosin was on the train.
But like sitting next to me on the train, or like in front of me.
That's how it happens. That's because you run into showrunners in Forbidden Planet all the time. And
weird times.
Our life does sound a bit strange. It was, I mean, it's not that odd. We were both at the Doctor Who screening and then we both got on the train back to London. I'd like to make it out like it was fate, but it's not.
Fate.
Oh, need you to get a keto once again.
Yes.
I like how she just chucks the gun. I love that.
Oh, I love her.
What do you think of her costume?
Love it.
Okay. I do too. I want to see it with the hood up. I haven't seen it with the hood up all year.
Oh, that's true.
So true.
I think it's such a Doctor-y mashup of clothes as well. Just, she looks wacky, but kind of like cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like her. I like with the coat off as well. Like when we saw her at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, and I love the pink version of the top as well, like the dark burgundy kind of color.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's been wearing a navy blue version of it in series 12, from what I could see.
Yeah, there was a picture leaked of like darker navy trousers that she's wearing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know how I feel because I really like the teal ones, but I suppose it's just variations, right?
Variations of the silhouette. It's all part of the same melange. You are in a safe space when it comes to talking costumes here, by the way. I enjoy a good costume talk and hair too. We used to talk a lot about the.
No, you used to talk a lot about.
I know. I used to talk about the changing length of Peter Capaldi's hair. We haven't had that yet with Jodie Whittaker, which is a bit of a shame.
Do you prefer deep breath Peter hair? Or...
You know what? I think I've come back round to deep breath hair. I
agree.
I agree.
I thought it was a little too much in Twice Upon a Time. But I was enjoying the series 10. But then when I went back and watched some series, I think, I really like that. I kind of like the close
I disagree.
cut there.
For all my Buffon taunting, I like the Buffon.
You like the Buffon?
I just don't like cataloging it.
Oh.
I think it just makes him look like. I think I like the series they had because it makes him like sharp and it kind of matches him. I feel like, I suppose, you know what, the Buffon makes him feel a bit softer, so that kind of works with the character arc, right?
Yeah. The softer his hair gets, the softer his personality gets.
Oh, we love him.
I've just accidentally kind of got my hair cut exactly the same as 13's hair.
Accidentally.
And when I say accidentally, I mean accidentally. Kez saw me the other day, so she knows. But it was an accident. And I didn't go out for like 3 days afterwards because I was like, my hair's too short.
No, it looks cute.
And then I just got it highlighted as well, so it's like ultra Jodie.
Oh, girl. Check that highlight.
There were so many Jodie cosplayers at Gallifrey 1. Because, her universe has been selling the whole costume. So people were.
But even the year before, there was a ton.
Yeah, but with everyone with the same costume, essentially, and they had a big giant group photo and everything.
Great.
I wish we had a hair universe in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Don't. Oh, poor.
I mean, who can resist?
Kira, don't
honestly.
you dare.
Yeah.
I think you might be a little bit behind.
Oh, sorry. It's because it paused.
It's just quite funny.
Yeah.
How behind do you think I am?
Maybe like
4
10
seconds. Yeah, not much.
If even.
I might skip
maybe
forward a
like
time.
6 or something.
Okay, I think I fast forwarded it by like 5 seconds. Shouldn't be too far behind you. Graham's always at it with the one-liners.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Amazon doing that, trying to kill their own customers and come up with some crazy reason. Actually, it's more of a Facebook thing, really.
Yeah.
So this is the thing that keeps coming up on Twitter about this episode being a sort of social commentary on Amazon, which isn't really something I thought about when I was watching it, but then there's this big discourse about it and it kind of being like pro-capitalism. I don't know how I feel about that.
I noticed, like, at time of recording, which is like several weeks ago when this comes out, that you actually put out on Twitter, so I don't have a problem with this. And so you got some responses of people who did have problems with it, or?
Yeah, some people were saying that they think the Doctor's like should have done more. It's very pro-capitalism. She doesn't really seem to care about what's going on. And there's some other people, which is what I got from it, was that she was blaming the way that bad people use systems and like how they kind of take advantage of them for their own gain at the expense of other people. But yes, a lot of people don't agree with the fact that the Doctor doesn't seem to do anything about Kerblam or the way that it's treating its workers.
You could look at it the other way in the Sunmakers. I don't know if you saw that one yet, but
I haven't yet.
Oh, well, spoilers.
Oh, no, go for it.
It's great, by the way.
It's great. This is from season 15, Tom Baker, and they, he basically overthrows this corporation that's on Pluto, and at the end of it says, okay, there you go, on your own now, bye, and they just leave. They literally throw the president of the company off the top of a building. And then just leave it to the rebels to sort out amongst themselves. If it's and at the time you think, okay, yay, the hero wins the day, episode's over. But the ramifications of that is always just like, wow, that is slightly, big, massive regime change, and then he just sort of goes.
Do you think that's because the Doctor isn't really supposed to interfere too much, so that they should deal with the fallout themselves?
Yeah, exactly. Like I'll make the mess, you clean it up however you wish, basically.
Well, I suppose they weren't going to make the mess on their own, maybe.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking about the speech?
We're talking about whether this episode is pro-capitalism or not-ish.
Oh, damn it. Why did I miss the most interesting conversation?
Oh, we also talked about the Sunmakers, though. So what
I
now's
love the
time,
Sunmakers.
Kez. Yep. I was
So much
comparing
passion.
that to this. What did you think about the speech, the pro-capitalism, anti-capitalism? Where do you stand on this?
I just find it a bit confusing. I feel like the story is going down one route and then it suddenly switches, but not to a point where you're like, oh, yes, I get it. To a point where you're like, what?
I think that the Doctor is saying, oh, you know, like, bad humans, you've taken advantage for your own gain, and look what's happened, blah, blah, blah. And then it's trying to stop this one person from doing something bad. And then instead of kind of like following up, she just sort of leaves. Which I don't know. I didn't really think anything of it at the time. But I guess there is that thing of like, would the 10th, well, someone said in on Twitter to me, like, you know, the 10th Doctor would have been like, oh, I've just deleted all your systems or something like that. And she just sort of goes. And I don't know, maybe they could follow it up, or there could have been a line where she kind of didn't, maybe makes it more clear that she doesn't condone capitalism and all of that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, you know, it's sort of like dealt with as an afterthought afterwards. They can, oh, well, we'll do this now and this, and okay, everything's sorted, now we can go. It does kind of feel like it's an explanation after the fact.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really know if there was meant to be a point that they've lost, sort of thing. Yeah, I think
dismantling Kerblam, the actual the dismantling the system would be like, okay, boom, we've just shut down this entire massive economic driver, which probably creates jobs all across the universe, and say, well, guess what? You're not getting your things anymore, so.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think also,
you know,
all of those people would be jobless, and not be able to send money back to their families and stuff. So it's more than just like shutting it all down completely, isn't it? Like you'd have to change the whole process of the world and the universe, not just that one company.
Yeah.
And we're saying that the Doctor hasn't thought of this.
Sorry, the Doctor hasn't what? Sorry.
She just doesn't. She hasn't thought of that. She's just like,
yeah,
she hasn't thought about the repercussions of it.
Yeah. I do like the way that she did a quip there, but it was very muted and just sort of gently puts the thing down.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
She was like, Kerblam it, puts it down.
Yeah.
It's weird because like Doctor Who with capitalism is kind of like, it's always a kind of undertone. Like so much of the politics is like, it's not like, here is an episode on capitalism, even though you know it is, because it's always like set within like another world and stuff. So like the Sunmakers, it's like, well, it's all about taxes and stuff, but you don't. If you just read the synopsis, you wouldn't think like, oh, this is all about capitalism because it's set within a different world and within a different context. So that I think makes it a little bit more confusing because you're like, well, is this a view on now? Or is this just a view within the story? Is this a view of the writers? Is this a view of the Doctor or the show? So on and so forth.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. I never got, and it might just be my tiny little brain, but I just came away from this and like I didn't think that it was like meant to be a comment on anything. I just thought the Doctor was trying to stop this bad thing that was going on, like that potential, you know, that could have been huge, like those Kerblam men posting all of those bombs back onto, you know, around wherever they're delivering. And so she was just trying to stop the bad thing that was happening. And so I didn't really think the whole capitalism thing really came into it. And so, when that all sort of discourse happened, I was like, that's not even what, you know, is that just, are people taking that too literally? Do you know what I mean?
Don't you think that really finished like suddenly?
Yes. Oh my god.
I love the way it ends on him maybe popping it though.
Like Beth, you were saying about how you feel like Chibnall's maybe run out of. I mean, I know this isn't his episode, but some of the stories have run out of time a little bit. That felt like it just needed a little, like a few more beats.
Yeah,
it
would be nice with Ryan just about to pop. I mean,
well, even the last scene, like the penultimate scene, was just them in the break area, like summing up everything that has happened, like as if like they just scheduled a meeting and let's meet here, hash out the details that are left unsolved and then say our goodbyes. That felt a little bit quickly written to me.
Yeah. I wonder if there is anything, because I guess we haven't really had that many interviews with like writers or people that have worked on Series 11 about, I don't know, like about anything. Do you know what I mean? Like no one has said, oh, this is how I wrote it, or like the process or anything that they had to change or anything. So I'd be interested to know what had to change in these stories that made them kind of feel like they ended suddenly, or, you know, why certain things in the TARDIS were filmed weirdly. Do you know what I mean? Like just some more insight. And that's where Doctor Who Confidential is hugely missed. Well, maybe when the 20th anniversary Blu-ray set comes out in 2039, we'll gather together and watch and learn all over again of how this episode and indeed this whole series is made. That's by the way, Kerblam, that was great. That was so much fun. Thanks, Beth and Kes for joining us on this here episode. Where can people on the internet find your work? Oh, you can find us at @TheTimeLadies_ on Twitter and Instagram, or thetimeladies.com for our website, and then just The Time Ladies on YouTube and Time Ladies Talk on iTunes. Who stole the Time Ladies first for you to put the underscore on there? Some account that hasn't tweeted for years and years, and it's really quite sad. Jerks. Well, we'll find you. That's excellent. Thanks again, and good work on the podcast, the reaction videos, the podcast. Keep going. It's superb to read and hear your enthusiasm for the show, and also what you're doing for people whose voices perhaps are not heard as much. So well done to both of you.
Oh, thank you so much. You too. I'm so excited that you had Claudia on. Me too. So great, and we love you guys. So thanks for having us on. Absolutely. Next week, though, as you saw in the Next Time trailer, it's the Witchfinders. So stay tuned for our commentary on that. But until then, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com, follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro, subscribe to us on iTunes, and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.